Time now for the Woezor TV report. Let's take a look at the headlines. Thank you so much for joining. Now let's settle in for the details of the story. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has reaffirmed government's commitment to deepening democratic decentralization and strengthening local governance to improve public service delivery and accelerate development across Ghana. Speaking at the second National Dialogue on Decentralization and Responsive Governance held to mark the African Day of Decentralization and Local Development, the dialogue was held under the theme Resetting Democratic Decentralization for Accountable Public Service.
And responsive governance. His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama sends his greetings to all of you. We don't acknowledge his greetings. This dialogue is timely, not least because the continent is also commemorating the Africa Day on Decentralization and Local Governance, as you have heard. This is an opportunity to reflect on the progress Africa has made towards democratic decentralization and to responsive, accountable, and effective local governance. Today, we renew our resolve to ensure that decentralization remains true to its purpose, which is bringing government closer to the people and bringing progress closer to their doorsteps. Since the adoption of the 1992 Constitution, successive Ghanaian governments have worked steadily to translate the constitutional promise of decentralization into strong institutions and functioning systems that serve our citizens through our metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. Through the efforts of government institutions, parliament, district assemblies, development partners, traditional authorities, academia, civil society, and countless other stakeholders, we have developed the National Decentralization Policy and Strategic Framework 2026 to 2030.
And now, away from that, the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Abla Jifa Gomashi, has outlined developments and achievements in the tourism, culture and creative arts sectors since taking office. Speaking at the Government Accountability Series on Monday, August 10, the minister disclosed that Ghana generated an estimated $4.34 billion from international tourism in 2025, as the sector recorded growth across several sectors.
Tourist arrivals reached 1,303,962 people in 2025. Which is an increase over the 2024 figure of 1,288,804. Domestic tourism grew from 1.68 million visits in 2024 to 1.7 million visits in 2025, representing 7% growth. The total revenue generated from the arrivals in 2025 is 4.34 billion. I beg your pardon. The 10 most visited attractions in Ghana combined to draw 1,377,588 visitors in 2025. This accounted for roughly 77% of all domestic tourism site visits nationwide. These sites are Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, Kakum National Park, Bunsu Aboritum Eco Park, Cape Coast Castle, Menchia Palace, Kumasi Zoo, Accra Zoo, Elmina Castle, Shai Hills Resource Reserve, and Abri Botanical Gardens. May I add real quick that 3 out of the 10 are directly under the ministry. The others are handled differently from the ministry. Average total workforce of star-rated hotels in Ghana is now 101 staff per hotel, indicating 80 full-time staff and 21 temporary staff. And the gender demarcations are that there are more females in the sector, as I'm sure you know, than males. Licensed tourism enterprises have grown from 6,702 in 2024 to 7,109.
Now, the minister further cautioned tourism facility owners against increasing rents without making corresponding improvements to the services they provide.
Some of the smaller facilities are just breaking the law. Let's call a spade a spade. People are just breaking the law. And we are happy with what the rent control commissioner, right? What he's doing. I want to applaud him. He's probably not the very popular person now in our country for those who are caught in his web. But if we can all just try to do the right thing, I'm sure that we'll all be proud of the Ghana that we want to build. So you have a facility and you know that you haven't added any additional facility to what exists. But every month, every term, you are just, because you can, you just increase the rents and so on without the commensurate improvement on the services that you are supposed to give to the people. So I'm on his side, though. I'm on his side. And we should collaborate with him more. And yes, the CEO is telling me that they've invited him for a conversation to see how they do it. And I'm sure that I'll be briefed after they've had their engagement. But let me take this opportunity to appeal to facility owners. Don't wait till the staff lock your place up and start calling me. I'm at the ministry doing policy and try to review our old laws. All the old agencies. National Theatre was built in 1991. Its laws are old. I'm trying to get the lawyers to work with me and so on. Just do your thing so you are not locked out and then start calling me and make me look like I'm not paying attention to you. We all owe it.
And now away from Accra, the Volta Economic Corridor is being positioned as a key driver of Ghana's 24-hour economy and accelerated export program. Presidential advisor Augustus Gusi-Tano says the Volta Lake holds significant economic potential beyond hydropower generation. Speaking at the start of the negotiations on the Master of Concession Agreement for the corridor, he said the project will harness the lake and surrounding areas to support agriculture, manufacturing, logistics, renewable energy, and export development. The initiative is also expected to strengthen regional trade and create an integrated, production-led economy.
When they dammed the Volta River to create the largest man-made lake and reservoir in the world. We are proud to be inheritors of that dream and part of the story. Early last year, when we began developing the 24-hour industrial policy, it became apparent that the Volta River system could be key to our policy. We saw that all the ingredients for national economic revival laid out for us, waiting to be reassembled along the lake system. What are these important ingredients and characteristics of the lake system? thousands of square kilometers of navigable waterway, millions of hectares of arable land, vast potential for large-scale renewable energy production, a vast, increasingly skilled but underutilized workforce. Our task as 24-hour is to present Cabinet with an implementation plan to harness this opportunity. This was the origin and birth of the Volta Economic Theory. We are not the originators of the Volta Economic Concept. That honor goes to Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We see going forward large-scale renewable energy to complement Akosombo, Akuse, and Bui, cheap and environmentally friendly transportation systems, modern agricultural development, strategic manufacturing hubs, lake tourism that taps a huge potential, and social development projects. All of this positions us to achieve an aggressive national export program. It allows us to build a new regional trade hub, new regional trade relations that benefit our sub-region and, of course, benefit our continent and the wider world. Today,
An hour away from that, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakufibua, has upheld the revocation of the Akongo, Salman and Nkrofo mining leases of Adamus Resources Limited. The leases were revoked in April 2026 following investigations which established breaches of Ghana's mining laws. The decision was reviewed after the company petitioned the minister, but following a comprehensive assessment, the revocation has been maintained with immediate effect. The minister has directed the Minerals Commission to assume administrative oversight of the company and ensure an orderly transition and continuity of operations. Government has also assured workers that their jobs will be safeguarded while reiterating its commitment to protecting legitimate investment and enforcing compliance with Ghana's mining laws.
This morning we made a working visit to assess the situation at this month. So we're asking objective of government to make sure that the security of workers, safety of workers is the top priority, and also to ensure the largest continuity. But let me first extend my condolence to the family and all of you as workers. I know anytime there's a tragic incident that happens to your co-worker, that really can be very disturbing. And so I share the pain and the tragic loss, and we pray that God will strengthen.
Now away from mining, corporate Ghana and the international community are supporting government relief efforts following the June 29 flood disaster. The Office of the President has received cash, food, medical supplies, and other essential items from several organizations for distribution to flood victims. Among the donors are the Ghana Association of Chinese Societies and Companies, MTN Ghana, Central Group, EcoBank Ghana, B5 Plus, Tobinco Group, and other corporate institutions. Cash contributions include 200,000 cedis from Softcare FM Manufacturing Company and 50,000 cedis for the Ghana Institute of Surveyors. The donations include thousands of bags of rice, mattresses, blankets, medical supplies, mosquito nets, water, clothing, and other relief items. Senior government officials received the donations on behalf of the state as government continues efforts to support communities affected by the disaster. The National Disaster Management Organization Now, still on relief items, the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, at the Ayawaso Central Municipal Assembly has intensified relief efforts for residents affected by the June 29 flooding disaster. Municipal Director Mohammed Awal says about 2,300 persons have so far received relief items from the Assembly. The support includes rice, soaps, blankets, mattresses, mosquito nets, mosquito repellents, and water. Speaking during Monday's presentation, Mr. Awal says social services and Health personnel are also providing psychosocial support to residents to help them cope with the trauma resulting from the disaster. The following report has more.
Organization NADMO at the Ayawaso Central Municipal Assembly has provided relief items to about 2,300 residents affected by the June 29 flooding disaster. The municipal's director, Mohammed Awa, says the assembly is prioritizing residents from the worst affected electoral areas as it continues to assess the extent of the damage. Speaking during the distribution of relief items to some affected residents on Monday, August 10, Mr. Awa said the assembly initially estimated that 3,021 people had been affected. He, however, said the figure is being reviewed as assessment teams continue to verify reports from the various communities. The relief items being distributed include rice, soap, blankets, mattresses, mosquito nets, mosquito repellents, water, among others. Beyond the distribution of relief items, the assembly has also begun desilting and dredging drains in some flood-affected areas as part of measures to improve drainage and prevent the recurrence.
We are still working on the drains to make sure that if there's any rain, it can just pass away freely. We have the social services that provide them with those education, and they've also started. The health are also on the ground just to support them with the cleaning activities in those affected areas. So we are on the ground.
Some beneficiaries expressed appreciation for the support. One of them, Christopher Oyoe, a physically challenged electronic repairer, said although the items may not replace everything he lost, the gesture was significant in helping affected residents recover. He also appealed to people who have resorted to begging on the street following the disaster to seek sustainable and employable opportunities to rebuild their lives. The assembly said it is also working with its social services and health teams to provide psychological support to residents who may have suffered trauma from the disaster. For Woezor TV.
Now, still on relief items, the government of the United Arab Emirates has donated relief items to support families affected by the devastating floods that hit parts of Ghana on June 29, 2026. The disaster displaced nearly 90,000 people, affected close to 18,000 households, and claimed about 34 lives. Rachel Asamoah has more.
From the United Arab Emirates is being described by Ghanaian authorities as a timely response to the country's appeal for international support following the June 29 floods. The floods left thousands of families displaced and disrupted livelihoods, highlighting the growing impact of climate-related disasters on vulnerable communities. At the presentation ceremony, Minister of State in charge of Climate Change and Sustainability, Seydou Isifu, expressed Ghana's appreciation to the government and people of the UAE for the intervention. He says government will ensure the relief items reach families and communities most affected by the disaster, while appealing to other countries, development partners and international organizations to respond to Ghana's call for assistance.
The swift and positive response of the United Arab Emirates to Ghana's appeal is a remarkable demonstration of the enduring friendship between our two countries. Your generosity brings hope and relief to thousands of people affected by the flood.
Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs James Chachi-Quayson also expressed Ghana's gratitude to the UAE for the humanitarian assistance.
Please convey the leadership, government and people of the United Arab Emirates and the sincere appreciation of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and the people of Ghana for this generous humanitarian assistance. We greatly appreciate that. May this gesture of solidarity further deepen the enduring friendship between the Republic of Ghana and the United Arab Emirates and inspire even greater cooperation between our two nations.
For the United Arab Emirates, the assistance is a demonstration of solidarity with Ghana at a difficult time. His Excellency Rashid Al Shamsi is the Director of Logistics Support at the UAE Aid Agency.
The United Arab Emirates believes that helping others in time of need is based on unity, and cooperation and share responsibilities. In this regard, we stand with Ghana and support your national efforts to help those affected and to assist recovery.
The UAE's intervention is expected to strengthen the relief efforts as authorities continue to respond to the needs of flood-affected communities. For Woezor TV.
Now moving on, former Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donkor has denied allegations that he demanded or received money in connection with a U.S. bribery case involving former Goldman Sachs banker Asante Beku. His lawyers, Candivish Chambers, say Dr. Donkor has never met Asante Beku and never discussed any personal benefits with him. The former minister admits his ministry negotiated with Asker Energy to generate electricity during Ghana's severe power crisis. His lawyers also confirmed that the technical team was sent to Istanbul, Turkey to inspect power generation equipment as part of pre-shipment inspection process. They insisted that Dr. Donkor neither authorized anyone to demand money on his behalf nor received any financial or personal benefit from Asante Beku. Meanwhile, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, has intensified investigations into the Ghanaian dimension of the bribery case involving former Goldman Sachs banker Asante Kweku Beku. The move follows the transfer of evidence and records from U.S. authorities after Mr. Beku's conviction. EOCO says asset tracing and recovery will form a key part of the investigation as it seeks to identify any proceeds or assets linked to suspected criminal conduct. The office stressed that Mr. Beku's U.S. conviction does not automatically establish criminal liability for anyone in Ghana. Now moving on, the Ghana Maritime Authority has facilitated the repatriation of 12 stranded seafarers aboard the MV Rahaf Moon after months of hardship. The crew, comprising 9 Indians, 2 Azerbaijanis and 1 Turkish national, have been left without adequate food and water, with unpaid wages exceeding $150,000. The Ghana Maritime Authority, working with the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, ITF, foreign missions and other stakeholders, secured emergency supplies and recovered 4 months of outstanding wages before the crew was repatriated on July 23. The MV Rahaf Moon remains under the custody of the GPHA and is undergoing legal processes towards a judicial sale, with the remaining wage claims expected to be addressed during the proceedings. And for some international news. At least 132 people are dead and a state of emergency has been declared after Colombia was hit by one of its largest earthquakes in years. The death toll is likely to rise with more fear trapped under collapsed buildings. According to Colombia's Geological Service, the magnitude 7.4 quake struck at a depth of 103 kilometers in Choco province. It was felt across an enormous area stretching for hundreds of miles across western Colombia. Many deaths has been concentrated in the city of Pereira in Colombia's coffee-growing region, with surrounding cities of and the Valle de Cauca region also hit hard. The epicenter of the quake was near the village of San Jose de Palma in Choco province, but local mayor Leon Fabio Marin Moncada said there had been miraculously no deaths and injuries despite the roads in and out being damaged. Colombia's Association of Capital Cities wrote in a statement update on Monday that more than 480 people were injured in the quakes. Now this brings us to the end of the Woezor TV Reports. Many thanks for staying with us. I am Karen Na Oyoe Quartey.